All right, it's our pleasure now to bring in one of the newest members of the Orange, not a recruit per se, but through the transfer portal, pretty much the new world of recruiting that we live in. It's Cole Swider coming over from Villanova. Cole, really appreciate you hopping on with us. And I guess we'll start off with this one. How does it feel? You finally have those orange threads with you now. How does it feel to be a member of the Syracuse program?
Man, it's unbelievable, man. I mean, obviously in high school, it was one of my final schools, and it was so close to choosing Syracuse. But it feels great to be an Orangeman now and just be a part of the family. So I can't wait to play in front of the fans and hopefully win a few games.
So, Cole, I was reading up on something that you said right when you entered your name into the transfer portal. GMAC gave you a call. Can you walk us through that moment, and what did he say to you when you got him on the phone there?
Yeah, man. At 1:40, I entered the transfer portal PM, and then at 1:42, GMAC called me, and I was so relieved, obviously, because Syracuse is one of the schools I've been eyeing, hopefully to transfer to when I entered the portal, and right when I answered the phone, I was like, my man, and then he handed the phone right to Coach Boeheim, and then Coach Boeheim kind of went on for 15 minutes of what he saw, the plan, just some things that were happening within the program, the guys leaving, the guys they expected to leave, and how great of a fit it was. They said we thought it was the best fit for you the first time, and we think it's the best fit for you now. And we still have confidence in you after your 3 years at Villanova, and that meant a lot to me. You know what I mean? I listened to all the other schools, and I wanted to make an educated decision. But after that phone call, I knew it would probably be Syracuse. So it was amazing to hear from them quick, and ultimately led to my decision to commit to Syracuse.
So Tim and I are fascinated by the transfer portal. I mean, we love the drama of it all, but so you mentioned you're in at 1:40, you get the call at 2-3 minutes after.
Yep.
How does that work? Is there a notification that gets blasted out to all these coaches? Do you know the inner workings of the transfer portal?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know it was tweeted out by Villanova men's basketball, so they could have saw it on Twitter. I know that some coaches, they literally told me that they were refreshing the transfer portal to see the names coming through. Sometimes there's talks about a kid transferring or a kid thinking about transferring. So the conversations are going on nonstop. So I don't know how they saw it, where they saw it, or if someone told them that I was thinking about transferring, just kind of inner workings. But they were the first school to call me, and they were pretty quick too. So I give them props for that.
Maybe GMAC had Villanova men's basketball on tweet notifications, and then instantly he knew. I don't know what
verbal
it was.
Commits.
Yeah, he was on top of it, though. So can you talk about your relationship with GMAC a little bit? I know it goes back a while now, and you're close to picking Syracuse the first time around. But what's he like as a recruiter? Because just for guys like us that follow the team, he's doing pretty well on the recruiting trail right now.
Yeah, man. One of the things about him is he's just very honest. You know what I mean? He's very honest in his recruiting, and he's very honest in what he sees, the things that you can be capable of. I mean, obviously, our relationship goes back to the end of my sophomore year in high school, kind of building that relationship. And ultimately, he was my main recruiter after Hopkins decided to take the Washington job. So he was really in on me, and he saw the potential that I had, and ultimately the fit that Syracuse brought for me. And like I said, telling him no was really hard the first time, just because of the connection that we built. But he was really great about the process, and him understanding that of why I was choosing Villanova for the reasons I did. And he was just amazing through it all. So when I went back to the transfer portal, our connection just picked up right where it left off, and ultimately it was just it just felt right from the minute I talked to him.
Now, obviously, certain things have to fall in place for you to end up at Syracuse. I mean, player movement, obviously, probably a big factor in why you are with the Orange right now. But how much did the situation and the fit, obviously, we've seen Alan Griffin, he's leaving the program. Quincy Guerrier, his name's in the NBA draft. A couple other players that play your position are also on the way out. How much did that clearance of some players impact your decision to come to the Orange?
Yeah, I think it works both ways, right? I don't think they would reach out to me if there wasn't that kind of clearance for a guy like me. You know what I mean? That was huge for me. Obviously, I think it was the day after they had 3 or 4 guys go into the portal when they lost, and I saw that. And then when they called me, they kind of told me of some other guys. They said Quincy's going to enter the NBA draft. They weren't sure what Allen was going to do, but they knew that there was going to be opportunity for me to come in and have that role. I mean, nothing guaranteed, but like he knew that there was going to be a clear lane for me to come in and do the things that I wanted to do and the things that I know I'm capable of.
So why ultimately did you decide to transfer out of Villanova? Because I'm sure that was a tough decision after 3 years there at a really good program.
Yeah, man, it was a really tough decision. Like, I love Villanova. I love Coach Wright. I love everything the program stands for. Obviously, we've been at the top of college basketball. Just being a part of this program has taught me so much. But when looking at the landscape of the team, the landscape of college basketball right now, the NCAA gave everyone a fifth year, as you guys know. And it kind of gave the opportunity for guys like Colin Gillespie and Jermaine Samuels to come back. So knowing those guys and the relationship that we have, I had a feeling that they would use that extra year. Colin, because of his injury, Jermaine just he's battling injuries himself, and just like the kind of relationship that he has with the coaching staff here, I knew it was a strong possibility that they would come back. So you guys can edit that out, but
yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, so for me, it was all about finding an opportunity where I could do the things that I knew I could do. Right, coming back to a team with a bunch of veteran guys, a bunch of guys that were they knew what they could do. They knew the program inside and out. There wasn't a lot of opportunity that I felt for. Jesus.
It's not Boeheim, is it?
No,
I'm gonna yell at you, right?
Wait, what did she say?
I'm working on something. I'm talking to the media right now. Let me talk to them. Jesus.
It's all good. We can
my
edit
sister
it out.
calling me. Yeah, my sister's calling me.
Is that the one? She's the one at Villanova right
Yeah,
now?
the one at Villanova. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like I was saying before, like I didn't really see a lot of opportunity for me to grow in my role. You know what I mean? And one of the things about this year more than anything is that the transfers can play without a penalty. You know what I mean? And I saw that, and I thought I could play at a big time program and have the role that I wanted to and prove what I could do. So that was kind of like the short answer of why I decided to transfer.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you bring that up because, I mean, some people say, and a lot of people are bringing this point up now, that you got guys like yourself and they say it's quote unquote running from competition. I think that's a load of crap. Yeah. I am never going to penalize someone for wanting to find a better opportunity. But that being said, if this one-time transfer rule was not in effect right now, do you think you would have transferred away from Villanova after the season?
Like I said before, man, I've said this on previous podcasts and stuff like that. Like, I never wanted to transfer from Villanova, but when the fifth year happened, and seeing the guys come back, and then the one-time transfer rule went into place, I don't know. I might still be at Villanova. You know what I mean? If Colin and Jermaine leave and I have to sit out a year, I probably will still be at Villanova. But obviously, with all the circumstances that happened with COVID, the fifth year, not having to sit out, it made a lot of sense for me to explore all my options and ultimately pick a school that was the best fit for me, not only on the court, but off the court.
Just how close were you to picking Syracuse the first time around, like out of high school? Because I know it was one of your last couple of schools, but how close was it?
Yeah, man, it was right there. You know what I mean? I created a great relationship with GMAC, Coach Boeheim, a bunch of the players on the team at the time I was really close to. Yeah, it was right there. I mean, honestly, it was nothing that Syracuse didn't have or did have. I just felt in my heart that Villanova was the place for me. So like it was right there. And obviously, like looking back at it now, like should I have gone to Syracuse? I mean, who knows? But I know that it was all meant to be for me to be here.
You know, what's fascinating to me is the fact that, all right, you're coming from Jay Wright, and now you get Jim Boeheim, two of the most legendary coaches in basketball history, forget just college, basketball history, and you get to play for both of them. But they're very different coaches, I feel like, at least from the outside looking. I mean, Boeheim is more of like this X's and O's savant. He's got, of course, the 2-3 defense, and Jay Wright has got the personality. It seems like everyone loves him. GQJ, as people call him, all that stuff. So when you look at that, I mean, from your perspective, what are the differences between Jay Wright and Jim Boeheim?
Like I said before, like it's such an honor for me to be able to play for Coach Wright. Like he's going to be a Hall of Famer soon. And then Jim Boeheim, who already is a Hall of Famer. Like, how lucky am I to be able to play for two of the best programs and coaches in college basketball? like you said, like I think they're similar in ways of the way they conduct themselves, the way they are able to put out teams every single year that are competitive. But when it comes to the differences, I think Boeheim treats his guys like pros. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to getting in the gym extra, when it comes to like little things like that. And then I think Coach Wright really treats his program like a college program with like the set of rules and making sure that guys are really into the team first, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Obviously, I haven't been in the Syracuse program yet, but from the outside, Boeheim does a great job of managing his guys, but he's not going to hold anybody's hand. It seems like, you know what I mean? Like he's going to make sure that his guy, like the guys who are out there, the guys who are working hard, playing the best, doing the right things. Where at Villanova, it's like everyone is going to do the right thing no matter what. You know what I mean? Like everyone is going to be doing X, Y, and Z and doing it to the highest level that they can do. And the coaches are going to push you every single day, like until you max out, until that happens. Where I think both styles work. They're different styles. And I think they've obviously both had success in what they do. So I think the programs are both extraordinary at what they do. And I think that's why they've had so much success on both sides.
One other difference will obviously be you're going from man-to-man defense to 2-3 zone now. How do you feel like you fit into the 2-3 zone?
Yeah, I think I fit in great, man. I think with my length, my ability to rebound the basketball, my ability to just have a high basketball IQ when it comes to defenses, right? I mean, for me, one of the things that's not like a hidden thing is my lateral quickness isn't the best. You know what I mean? It's something that I need to work on. It's something that I need to continue to work at. And the 2-3 zone will allow me to continue to work at my lateral quickness, but not put me in an island of guarding a one man. You know what I mean? Guarding a point guard with the ISO. So I think for me, when it comes to being able to play man and zone at a high level for two of the best coaches, I think it will only help me in the next level. You know what I mean? And obviously knowing all the things that I know about man defense and the different terminology, the different coverages, the different way you can play the ball and the different ways to know personnel in general. I think it would only help me when it comes to the zone. And obviously the zone is different at Syracuse. You know what I mean? It's not your traditional 2-3 zone. So I think it would be a great next step for me in my basketball career. I can't wait.
So one of the things when I reached out to some people, try to get the down low on Cole Swider, everyone would tell me this: kid works his ass off.
Yep.
What does the typical day of a Cole Swider training regimen and all that stuff, what does that look like?
Yeah, man. I mean, when you're at school at Villanova, it's a little different because during the year, like we practice like 3 hours a day. So it's like this balance of making sure you're rested, but at the same time getting your work in and making sure that you're getting your extra shots and everything like that and getting your extra lifts in. But like in the summer, for example, like during COVID, like I'd probably wake up around 6 o'clock, go and do my weights, from probably like 6 to 7:30, come back, eat breakfast. After that, I'll go to the track. So I'll do a track workout. I have the same guy who does my weightlifting, and then like obviously like quickness workouts. And then after I go to the track, I'll come back, probably do class, eat lunch, and then I'll go to the gym either once or twice after that, depending on how I feel. So I try and get at least 2 or 3 workouts in every single day. And I feel like I have a lot to prove. So I have a big chip on my shoulder, and I'm working towards that. You know what I mean? And I think Syracuse is going to give me the opportunity to show what I can do, and my work ethic will show during these next 1 or 2 years.
All right, guys, more to come with Cole Swider in just a little bit. But first, I want to remind you that BetOnline.ag is back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of basketball season. They have more props, more odds, and more lines than ever before. And they remain your number one spot for all basketball and football action this season. Just head over to their new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use that promo code we got for you. That's Locked On, all one word, get you that 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Basketball, football, baseball postseason, NHL starting up, boxing, UFC. It's a great time to be betting on sports. So don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. Bet online, where the games start. So do you know when you're getting up to Syracuse, like what the plan is there? And then once you get up there, are you going to try and continue that similar type of workout regimen? And what will be kind of your goals this off season?
Yeah, I think they said summer session starts June 7th. So as soon as I can get up there, I'm going to get up there and start working out. And yeah, I mean, I know a bunch of their guys do the same thing. I know Buddy has a very similar schedule as me when it comes to working out, and everyone knows the kind of worker that he is. So I think I'm just going to fit right into how they do things. And ultimately, I'm going to continue to get my extra work in and continue to get my extra shots and ball handling and weightlifting in, and just try and get as good as I can. And obviously, the things I need to work on is getting better with the ball, getting better decision making, being able to make plays off the bounce, being able to make plays, going to the basket, getting to the free throw line more, and then defensively just keep on learning the game. You know what I mean? Obviously, the zone is going to be different, but I'm excited, man. I think Syracuse provides a lot of great opportunities for me to be able to show what I can do off the bounce, what I can do shooting the basketball, what I can do in many different areas. So I'm excited, man. And I think the on-court fit at Syracuse is second to none in the country for me. So I'm excited for that.
I want to take a little bit of a bird's eye view of recruiting, because not you've been through it twice technically, with the transfer portal too. But what does Syracuse look like to high school kids, especially you, who's a top 50 guy, an elite level guy? What does the brand of Syracuse look like in comparison to a Duke, Kentucky, or even a prior school that you were at, like Villanova? What kind of water do they still hold? Because some people, it feels like they've fallen off the map a little bit. And even Dior Johnson, one of the guys who was originally committed and obviously has since decommitted, but he says, I want to bring Syracuse back. And to a lot of Syracuse fans, that doesn't sit well, because for them, they don't feel like it ever left per se. Yeah. And they still think they're a part of those brands. But to some of these other kids, they don't hold the same weight that the Dukes, Kentuckys, Carolinas, Villanovas do.
I mean, it's funny, man. Like, they say that, but Duke and Carolina didn't make it to the Sweet 16 this year. Like, it's like this. I feel like it's unintelligent to say, because, like, when you look at the last, what was it? I think I saw it said the last 11 years, they have the most Sweet 16 appearances out of anybody in the country. So it's like, for people to say that, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, for me, like, when transferring from Villanova and I commit to Syracuse, people are like, that's like the same, like, it holds the same aura when it comes to college basketball.
It's like a lateral movement.
Yeah, it's like a lateral move. You know what I mean? Like, obviously Syracuse has been doing it for longer, but Villanova has that, like, that recency bias of winning 2 national championships. But I don't know, like, I feel like Syracuse is a blue blood in my eyes. I feel like Villanova is a blue blood in my eyes. And for me, it holds the same weight as a recruit. You know what I mean? Obviously, the guys like Carmelo Anthony and, like, all the NBA players that they've had at Syracuse, and then Villanova, Kyle Lowry, and all the NBA players that they've had, like, for me, it's the aura of Syracuse basketball is something I'm going to take great pride in. And, like, it's funny because, like, Syracuse wins at a high level, but people say it's not in the same. And, like, you know what I mean? They beat Duke and Carolina all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't make sense to me to hear, like, someone be like, oh, we need to bring Syracuse basketball back, because they're playing at a high level every single year. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know if that has to do anything with them being on the bubble some years. I don't know if that's, like, the case behind that, but, like, they just made the Sweet 16. So hopefully we can make the Final Four, win national championship, and that can quiet everybody.
For sure. I always say all that matters is what happens in the tournament, basically. Yeah. And that's what they've been doing. I mean, yeah, they've been on the bubble, but they were one of the last 16 teams standing. I guess you were part of one of the other teams that was one of the last 16 teams standing. Yeah. So that's kind of funny. But I wanted to ask you, how many of the guys on the Syracuse team right now had you met, had you interacted with in AAU circles, stuff like that? And do you have any idea, like, who you'll be living with when you get up there?
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'm going to be living with, but I know a lot of the guys from the AAU circuit and playing against them in high school. I mean, I played against Samir. He played for, I think, City Rocks. I played against him all growing up. Same thing with Joe. I played against Joe since I was probably in 8th grade. And then the same thing with Buddy. You know what I mean? I played against him, and Buddy was a big part of my recruiting process. He called me and made sure, like, I knew that I was wanted and I was needed at Syracuse. And he made sure from the jump that, like, for me, looking at the program, you know what I mean? Obviously, this is Buddy's team. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to take away from him. Like, he earned that. You know what I mean? And seeing the development that he's done and the work ethic that he has, it only makes me want to just help him. And obviously, we saw in the Houston game that, like, they were doubling him off for every single ball screen. They were doubling off from every single dribble handoff. So for me, it was looking at that and seeing what I could do for him. So they can't do that to him anymore. So it's going to open him up even more. So I think the relationship I have with a bunch of the guys is great. And we even have a little group chat with a bunch of the guys that are committed next year. So I've talked to Benny. I've talked to a bunch of the guys. I've talked to Quincy. I've talked to all these guys, and they seem like a great group of guys, and seem like a great group to hopefully win a bunch of games with and make a deep run in the tournament.
You know, it's interesting you bring up it's Buddy's team, and you were a guy that coming out of high school, highly rated. I mean, rated higher than a guy like Buddy was. Obviously, Buddy's had a lot of success, especially on this latest tournament run, but you're a guy who could have picked to go somewhere and make it the quote unquote Cole Swider team. I find it fat. So why would you want to go and not play like a Robin role to Buddy's Batman, but why would you like to go to a team that is quote unquote Buddy Boeheim's team when you could have gone on to a different team and maybe have been in the driver's seat or been the guy?
Well, looking at it from this angle, right, it's like I wanted to go to a program where we had a chance to win, right? You know what I mean? Like coming from Villanova, that's what we've done. That's what we do. Like they're going to be a great team next year and the year after. Like I want to go to a program where they're ready to win now. They have the aura of Villanova basketball, like the same aura as Villanova basketball. We have a chance to make a deep run in the tournament, be a great team, like one of the best teams in the country. So looking at that, it wasn't so much like I want to be the Robin. It was like, let me be a part of a great team and let me help this team make that next step. Let me help this team be one of the best teams in the ACC. So for me, it wasn't like I know going to Syracuse it's being like Buddy's team, you know what I mean? But I think that me and Buddy could be one of the best shooting combos in the country when it comes to the size that we have, when it comes to having Joe on the other side. I feel like we could be a really hard team to guard, and thinking about the 2-man games that we could have and the different lineups that we could have in the game. It's amazing to think about. It's like I don't think a lot of people have seen the way I can play in college basketball yet. So it's gonna be a surprise to a lot of people what we'll be able to do next year. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're getting me excited, man. Thinking about the 2-man game, little pick and pop. I think that could be dangerous next year for sure. So how excited are you about playing inside the dome? And hopefully we'll get some fans next year as well.
Yeah, man. I've only seen it on TV. I've been in the dome one time on my visit, but I've only seen it on TV when it's really rocking. One moment that sticks out to me that was unbelievable was when John Gillen hit the last second shot against Duke. Like seeing the dome after that, I was like, man, this is like there's nothing like it in college basketball. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to play in front of everybody and ultimately just hopefully win a lot of games in the dome.
So you just went through a COVID season, and a lot has been made about how much that had an impact on a lot of student athletes. And what's something that you took away from this past season in terms of how COVID impacted it that a lot of people don't talk about, a lot of people don't realize played a big factor in why maybe some players had down years, why some teams had down years, all that stuff?
Well, I think not having a summer for a lot of teams was huge. I know Baylor and Gonzaga were there all summer, you know what I mean? And they were obviously the 2 best teams in the country. So I think not having a summer was a big part of why I think some of like the Carolinas and Dukes and Kentucky's didn't have the best years, because they have all brand new guys who don't know their system and they don't get to go through a summer session of getting better and learning the system. You know what I mean? I think that like older veteran teams had an advantage, and that included us at Villanova. I mean, you know what I mean? Like we had all of our guys who played this year were besides Caleb Daniels, were on the team the year before, and we had been through situations together and been a part of teams that have came back from big leads, have came back on the road against a Seton Hall or a Georgetown. So it was one of those things that I think a lot of teams struggle not having the older guys on the team who hadn't been there, and then the lack of the summer session, and even during the season, like you could get shut down for 2 weeks and not have a team practice for almost 3 weeks and be expected to play 2 days later. I know Syracuse, they went through that against Bryant. You know what I mean? They didn't like if you look at the team against Bryant compared to the team against West Virginia, it's 2 totally different teams, and that's just the process of a season and the practice ultimately.
So you mentioned GMAC called you right away. What were some other schools that reached out once you entered your name into the transfer portal?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like right when I entered the transfer portal, Indiana called, Pittsburgh called, Rutgers called, Arizona called. Obviously, Sean Miller's not with the program anymore, but um, East Carolina, Florida, USC, um, Alabama, Miami. There was a lot of schools. You know what I mean? So I kind of had to cipher through it and ultimately try and just focus on a couple schools.
So one of your fellow players that's coming in via the transfer portal is Samir Torrence, and you guys have played against each other out in the days in the Big East. What's Samir like? What's his game like? And you two are both guys who former top 100 guys, high level recruits, but your numbers maybe don't stack up to where your recruitment rankings were. Why? What's his game like, and why can both of you guys get those numbers or at least the level of success that you want to have at the level at Syracuse?
You know, Samir is really good, man. I played against him in high school. I saw what he can do and the ability that he has. And then when it comes to college, I thought he was kind of in a role at Marquette where he was the backup guard. You know what I mean? He was a guy come in to get them in their offense. Wasn't really a scoring guy on their team. That wasn't really his role. And then he was behind great players. You know what I mean? He was behind Marcus Howard his freshman year. He's behind DJ Carton his sophomore year. So I feel like he really hasn't had the opportunity to really show what he can do. And I think coming to a new program, a new fresh start, obviously it's home for him. So he has the pride in Syracuse basketball. I think it's going to give us a new flame under us. We both have a chip on our shoulder, and we both have a lot to prove. So I think it's a great situation for both of us to come in and really show what we can do. And he obviously has a couple of years to do it and really show what he can do at this high level. And that's one of the great things about Syracuse, that like we're going to be able to show we can do it in the ACC. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to go down a level so that's going to be something that I'm really looking forward to.
One thing I wanted to ask you, so Tyler Lydon recently was obviously a big part of the 2-3 zone, and he played some of the anchor position of the zone. I looked up Lydon's height and weight, pretty comparable to you. I think they list him at 6'10", 225. So
Yeah.
Right about the same. When you've talked to the coaching staff, have they brought up any sort of ideas of what position you fit into best in the 2-3 zone?
Yeah, I mean, they talk about down low. They talk about up top. You know what I mean? Like they said one of the things that's going to be great about you is that you're versatile in what you can do. You know what I mean? The anchor position we haven't talked about as much, but obviously, like I don't think they talked about it with Marek either. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I'm ready, I'm prepared, and ultimately, just this summer is going to be a big part for me. Just being able to learn the zone and ultimately just become versatile in every position I can play in the zone.
Plenty more to come with Cole Swider, but guys, if you haven't tried a Built Bar by now, you are missing out. They say it's a protein bar, but it does not taste like one. You have to try one of these amazing bars for yourself to believe it. Most protein bars we know are chalky, they're waxy, they're just plain hard to chew. A Built Bar is soft. It's covered in 100% real chocolate, and when you bite into it, you know you're eating something different. It's more of an experience, one that you'll enjoy. In fact, you'd swear you're eating a candy bar. I don't even understand how Built Bars are this good for you, and they taste this delicious. They're low carbs, low calorie, low fat, low sugar, and high in protein. All that healthy benefits on top of just being purely delicious. And they have so many great flavors. Another great thing about Built Bar is all these mouth-watering flavors, including coconut, raspberry, mint brownie, coconut almond, salted caramel, double chocolate, cherry barcia. And this month only, Built is coming out with new limited time flavors every 3 to 4 days. So check their website often. You don't want to miss out on some of these limited time flavors. They have been delicious. I've been dipping into them myself. So go to built.com, use our promo code. That's LOCKED15. It gets you 15% off your order. Again, promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com.
You know, what's impressed me the most from talking to you over the last however many minutes we've been doing this is that I can just sense you're a hoops junkie. Like some people play because they're good at it, but you like know the inner. I mean, you're dropping stats on us. You're giving me the Marquette depth chart and all that stuff. And I know you played in the Big East, but like, where did this love come from? That okay, it's more than just I'm tall, I'm good at basketball, I can shoot. Well, where did this love of the game and college basketball as a whole come from?
Man, I love it. And I want to be an NBA player. So at the end of the day, I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest. I'm not. I am the best shooter, but
Good answer.
But when it comes to me being able to make the next level, it's going to have to be my IQ. It's got to be my knowledge of the game. It's going to be me being able to read certain situations and know the game in that sense. So for me coming to college, I didn't know a lot of things about basketball. Obviously, I want to be a broadcaster. So all the things when it comes to knowing certain stats and all these things, like that's like just what I've grown up with. And then when it comes to basketball knowledge of different positions and stuff like that, it's something that I just love the game, and I want to be a pro. And to be a pro, those guys are geniuses, and that's something I've learned at Villanova. Like Kyle Lowry comes to our practice, and he's just talking nonstop about different actions and different things, and like he loves the game and loves what like the work it takes to be great. So that's something that I really pride myself on, and something that I want to continue to get better at.
You mentioned you want to be a broadcaster, and I can see it. I think you'd be a pretty good one. Do you
got it.
Yeah. Do you want to go to Newhouse? Because that's where Tyler and I went. Or do you have any idea what your major is going to be once you get to Cuse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a communications major here. Hopefully, I can get into Newhouse School. Obviously, I know it's not easy to get into, but that's definitely what I want to do. Hopefully, I have a long career, and I don't have to think about that for a while. But that's definitely what I want to get into once I stop playing basketball.
Do you ever see stuff like, would this be something you're interested in, especially with the change now that we're going to see in college basketball at some point with the name, image, likeness? Would you want to do something on the side where you could do a YouTube show or something like that? Like, is this name, image, likeness really going to open some doors for a guy like you?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was even thinking about doing a podcast this year, just because obviously like what we go through every single day, as college athletes, like isn't seen by a lot of people. So I think that the new name, image, and likeness, the new ways to profit off your name is only going to help guys like me and guys like anywhere across the country actually to profit off of doing things that they may have not done before. So I definitely would be interested in doing like a podcast or something like that. That's what I want to do when I'm done playing. So just to get the experience now would be amazing.
Well, Tim and I, we've got competition now in the market. When you release yours, ours is going to be obsolete. Okay, so what does your podcast look like? If you had to draw out some of the blueprints for it here, what do you want to do on your podcast?
Man, I listen to the JJ Redick podcast all the time. I don't know if you guys listen to that.
Yeah.
The old man in the three now, but like kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like he talks about X's and O's and the different language of NBA basketball. Obviously, everyone's journey is totally different in how they got to the point where they are. So I think that's kind of like the
model. Most popular guy, always getting calls.
I don't know why they're calling me, but yeah, no, like just kind of like just stuff like that, you know what I mean? Interviewing people and really starting to learn their story and everything like that. So that would probably be like the model of which I would like to do my podcast.
Well, you got an open invitation to come back on the podcast anytime.
Let's do it.
It's been a blast so far, but
for sure.
Yeah. You talk about NBA aspirations, and obviously you've got that type of talent if things click at Syracuse. But I wanted to ask you the idea of having that extra year now. And you talked about how maybe that could have impacted your decision to transfer, especially having the ability to not sit out this next year impacted your decision to transfer. What are your thoughts on 1 year, 2 years? Have you put in any thought on what kind of your plans are at Syracuse? And are you just sort of going with the flow and seeing how the first year goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's all fluid, right? I've said this on other podcasts and shows, like whatever it takes for me to make it to the next level, I'm going to do. So I think that 1 year, 2 years, who knows, you know what I mean? But I'm just going to go in and work every single day, and hopefully I can prove after 1 year that I can go. If not, Syracuse is in a bad spot to spend 2 years at. So either way, I'll be ecstatic to put on the orange uniform for 1 or 2 years.
A couple quick ones for you here, and then we'll get you out of here. But have you thought about a number yet that you want to wear? And what goes into the process for you of picking a number?
So I'm going to be number 21. That's obviously.
You got to follow up a great fan favorite. You know that, right?
Of course. So both my parents were number 21 in college, and then my sister was number 21. And it was something at Villanova that we already had like a guy before me wear. So I wore number 10, but that was number 10. My mom's birthday is August 10th. So that's why I picked number 10. But number 21 is a family number, and I can't wait to put it on and just be back in my number.
Another quick one for you. Who wins in a 3-point contest? You or Buddy?
I'm going to go me. So the best shooters on the team is me, Jerry McNamara, then Buddy. No, I'm joking. But I'm excited. We'll see. I'm excited. I would never choose anyone but myself in a shooting competition. But yeah, I know I shot around with a couple of guys. I shot around with Buddy on my official visit, and it was some good battles. So I'll get back to you guys on that when I come back on.
Have you shot with GMAC before? Because I've heard stories about some of these practices, and like he's still running dudes. Like he may be up there in age. Like he played back in 2003, and he's still running dudes. He's still got the shot. But yeah. I'm excited to hear some of the stories that come out of practice and the shooting competitions with you, Buddy, Joe, all you guys.
Oh yeah. We got a bunch of dudes, but yeah, no, GMAC. I saw him shoot on my visit one time, and he he's right up there, you know what I mean, with guys who can really shoot the ball. So he's a great shooter, and he's gonna give us a run for our money for sure. So
on a basketball note, knowing that Syracuse has all those shooters, and you take a look at how they ran their offense last year when Alan Griffin was there, and it's kind of transitioned to a lot of 3-point shots recently, spread it out offense. Did that part of it excite you, and was that a reason why you picked Syracuse?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just seeing the actions they ran for Buddy Boeheim this year, just seeing some of the different nuances in their offense to get guys threes and to give guys the freedom to shoot threes is something that I'm really excited for. And it's something that I can't wait to expand my game off of when it comes to shooting off the dribble threes and like giving the guys the freedom to really shoot contested threes, knowing the guys put in the work and do those shots every single day. So something I'm really excited for. It's something that I've worked for, and it's something that I'm excited just to be able to really be able to play off those guys, especially with me, Buddy, and Joe on the same court, and even some of the other guys. I think we could be a really lethal team from three, and it's something that really attracted me.
What's your first Orange memory? Like, it could be when you were like 6 years old and the first time Syracuse popped in your head, but like, what's the first time that you remember, like, okay, yeah, that's Syracuse and they're like a good basketball school?
Man, I mean, Syracuse has always been up there. You know what I mean? Like, just thinking of college basketball, you think of Syracuse, Duke, North Carolina, Villanova. But a memory that I have of Syracuse is when they might have been undefeated. So Michael Carter Williams went to my high school, and it was obviously before I went to St. Andrews. He was there. And I remember when they played Duke, I think they might have been undefeated at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like 35,000 people there. And Rodney Hood missed a dunk, I think, in overtime. Syracuse ended up winning that game. And that game was, I remember just being on my couch watching that game, be like, wow, Syracuse, like, they're obviously undefeated. You know what I mean? They're a great team. Like, I was a Duke fan growing up. So seeing Syracuse beat them, I was like Syracuse is the real deal. And then obviously looking back at it now, 2003 national championship, all the years that they've had of being a great team, I just can't wait to be put on that jersey and be a part of it, man. I'm so excited. So blessed.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're getting me jacked up. I can tell how excited you are just talking to you now. What would you say is the most underrated part of your game?
Man, I think I can really rebound the basketball. I think that's a really underrated part of my game. I mean, like, not to bring back old times or whatever, but I mean, I averaged 10 rebounds a game in high school. So it's something that that I know I can do. I can do it at a high level. And I think in the zone, it's going to give me a great opportunity to just really go after rebounds and hopefully grab a lot of rebounds for the team and help in that department.
A couple off the court things here. What's a TV show that you really enjoy and you've been binging during this pandemic?
Last Chance U recently. I watched what was a couple shows I watched. Well, you guys are putting me on the spot here.
Is it the basketball one? Last Chance U basketball?
Yeah, and the football one, actually. I watched All American a couple of times. I've watched U, I watch a bunch of shows, but I'm not really watching a lot of Netflix. I watch a lot of like documentaries and ESPN series. I know like the ESPN Plus series with North Carolina Central. I watched that one.
Okay.
I watch a bunch of different things.
One more from me, and then we'll be good to get you out of here soon. What's your go-to shot in horse?
Man, so my dad taught me this one. So you go to the corner and you line up your feet with the lines, and then you shoot that shot from the corner. It gets a lot of people.
That's some Steph Curry stuff right there, man. Like that's a shot that Steph definitely plays with in horse.
Yeah.
So, all right, Cole Swider, really appreciate it, man. It's been fun. Hopefully we have you on again at some point during the season. And whenever you have your podcast, we'll help you promo it. We'll help you roll it out as well. Get our listeners to become your listeners, and they'll probably never come back to us, but that's all right. But
podcast with Cole Swider. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down. I mean, who says no here? It's not going to be me. But we appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on with us. Best of luck this season, and we're really looking forward to watching you play with the Orange.
No problem, man. Can't wait, and hopefully win a lot of games with the Orange.